I think you should go watch the movie Gallipoli.
From a place you never heard of comes a story you'll never forget. Gallipoli.
Gallipoli is a Peter Weir movie which takes place during the First World War from an Australian perspective. It takes place in several locations, Australia, Egypt, and the titular, Gallipoli. Gallipoli is a really fantastic film. It's shot really well. The performances are really great, even if done by a young psychopath. The landscape shots in particular are just beautiful. There's a section of the movie where they're walking through the outback of Australia, and it's mesmerizing. It's incredibly beautiful. Egypt looks incredible. It's just a very beautiful looking movie. But if there's one thing that I think stands above the rest, if there's one thing from this film that I think really drives it over the edge as a masterpiece, is the score. I was reading some trivia about the film, and apparently director Peter Weir wanted the music to have an otherworldly sound to it. He wanted the outback to feel foreign and like it's an alien planet or something like that. I might be misquoting a little bit, but I think they absolutely nailed that feel. There's something about the music that just sucks you in. It's hypnotic. I feel like I found myself not blinking because of the music, just sitting there drooling while watching the movie. When it really kicks in and they're, running across the desert, it's captivating. And I don't want this to sound like, wow, it's a good movie, but the score's fantastic. No, the whole movie's fantastic. It's just that the score is just that memorable and that effective. It also just has a lot of heart. The characters are written so well. You grow so attached to them and you care about them so deeply that when the horrors of war start setting in, you feel miserable for them. As per usual, I do find myself wanting to kind of overshare and tell too much about the movie when a large point of this is me genuinely recommending it to you and not wanting to ruin the film for you. But there were moments, and I won't say when, if you watch it you'll know, where I was almost moved to tears. It's a heartbreaking film. It doesn't shy away from showing you the horrors of war. And just to reiterate, it's a stunning movie visually. The outback is beautiful. When they're in Egypt, there's just some really beautiful shots of the city and the scenery. And it's a different kind of war movie too, because actually very little of the film takes place in Gallipoli. A lot of the time it's them stationed in Africa or it's back in Australia, but that time isn't wasted and you don't feel like you're being robbed of anything because it's taking this time to develop these characters and to develop a mood and a feeling to kind of get you into the headspace of why young men maybe felt the way they did about certain things back then. So yeah, not a moment wasted. And by the time you are in the war, you love these characters so much that when things start to go awry, like I said, it's heartbreaking. I also think that the real history of the Battle of Gallipoli is a fascinating one. It's one of the great failings. It's a great example of why trench warfare was so inhumane and horrible. I remember reading that during the assaults, the Turkish soldiers actually gained a great deal of respect for the Australians and Kiwis, basically telling them, like, please stop coming over the trench. There's no glory in this. You're not making any ground. We're gonna mow you down. In the end, they were like, well, these guys are some of the bravest men on the planet, which they were. I can't even imagine being in that headspace. That's just me regurgitating information that I've collected from other YouTube videos and Wikipedia articles. So maybe there's some discrepancies in there, and I'm not being totally accurate. If you have more insight, I'd love to hear about it down below. But that's just something that I've heard, and yeah, war sucks, but this movie doesn't. So yeah, take some time and go watch Gallipoli. It's a really amazing movie. Thank you for watching.